Right now you are probably feeling stuck in your life. You've been trying to do things for a long period of time, and it seems like things are not working out, and you are ready to give up. Do not give up yet, because in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you should actually focus on as you are going through your transformation. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about the patience through transformation. I actually have one of my favorite scriptures or passages of scripture that I want to share with you where this concept or this idea actually came from. And that is actually Psalms chapter 1. And it says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doeth he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." Now, when I started to read that passage, and I was like, man, why does it say that you are going to be like a tree, or the godly man, is going to be like a tree? And that actually led me to start to study about trees. So, when it comes to being patient through your transformation, you need to be like a tree, and there are actually 5 steps to this. The first one is that many people don't know is that a tree actually grows in 2 directions. It actually grows in 2 directions. It grows towards gravity, and it's called gravitropic, and it grows towards the light, which is called phototropic. Phototropic. And I'm probably spelling that wrong, but it'll be all right. So the tree actually grows in 2 directions. So if we end up having the diagram here, let's say that this right here is our sun, and this right here is the ground, and we have our seed, which is being down here. Now we're going to talk about the first step, which is being a seed. When you are a seed, or when you have a seed and you're putting it in the dirt, in soil, in the ground, the seed hits this first stage, which is it is by itself. It is in isolation. When you get started on this journey of, having better finances, having a better relationship, becoming a better person, maybe you're starting to focus on your health, you're starting to work out. The first thing that's going to come up is you are going to be isolated. People are going to start talking about you. People are going to start judging you. They're going to be like, oh, you think you're better than us. And it's not the fact that you think you're better than them, is that you want better for yourself than what they want for themselves. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. You are going to be put into complete isolation. But once you get put into the complete isolation, now you end up going on to phase 2. So phase 1, the first part is you are in isolation. Now phase 2 is you are actually going to go down even further. So you're going to grow down. And what ends up happening is, you may have, rocks and stuff all over here. You might end up having some insects and stuff that are over here that are trying to get to you, but you start growing down first. And then what starts to happen as you start growing down, this is where you start to have your roots. Your roots start to form. And as your roots start to form, you actually are making a decision to be something different, which means that this seed is going to change from a seed to now it's going to start sprouting up, right? So now as you start to sprout up, that's going to lead us to number 3, which is now you're going to start having some success. You're gonna start having some type of small success, and people are going to be able to start noticing you. People are going to say, "Oh man, I knew you could do it. I knew that you were going to make it." And there's a little bit of the leaves. So now you are being able to be seen. But the whole thing about this is, if you stop right here, what's going to end up happening is your tree is just going to stop right there, because you have not allowed for your roots to actually develop. You have not allowed for your roots to actually develop very well, because as you start to grow, the tree can only become as tall as the roots are deep. So you start to have some success, and you go from having a little bit of success, people are starting to see you. Now you're starting to actually grow towards the sun. And this is where people are like, you're doing such a great job. But now you're going to end up moving on to number 4. And number 4 is, people are going to see that little bit of success, but you still have more to go. People are going to think that you're done. People are going to think that, hey, you gotten to the point where good enough is good enough. And once people get there, most of the time they stop. And at least what I've discovered along the path is that, or at least looking at people that have been on the path, there have been hundreds of people that have made millions of dollars, and they've lost it because they got to this point here where they stopped and they didn't allow their roots to continue to keep growing deeper. And they started to get the big head. And when people start to see that and they end up stopping, this is what causes them to fail. Because now they think that, oh, I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to get up as early anymore. I don't have to keep, going to the office, or I don't have to keep putting in the work, or I don't have to keep developing myself and becoming better. And that's what's going to cause for your tree to end up dying, because now you're not going to end up having the root system to support your tree continuing to go up. Now for number 4 is, now you are actually being. You are being a tree. You have the tree trunk. You are being a tree. And your roots have developed roots. And they keep getting, longer and longer. And your tree just keeps getting stronger and stronger. And your tree starts to grow even more. Now, the thing that I got from this last part is, you finally get to the point where you are fruitful. Finally get to the point where you are fruitful. And I'll erase this sun a little bit so I can have a little bit more space. So here's the sun. And now, you got to the point where you are fruitful. Now, why is being fruitful important? The reason why being fruitful is important is because now you've developed the root system that nobody actually saw. You started to develop this trunk. You have become, you started to have the success. You started to have, some of the greenery. Now, the last part of being fruitful is important because, let's say this is an apple tree. If you are actually producing fruit, which is done in the dark, is done in isolation, you become the person, which is actually what people are able to see now, and you are bearing fruit, which is step number 5. One of the things that I've noticed is that anytime you have a plant, anytime you have a tree, and it bears fruit, the fruit are not for the tree. The fruit are actually for other people. It's for the animals. It's for us as humans. So when you start to become fruitful, now people can see that what was actually done in the dark is now coming towards the light. And on this journey of entrepreneurship, getting your finances together, being in a better relationship, being a better person in your relationship, you have to Make sure that you are developing yourself in this dark space. But even when you start to see, and even when others start to see you, you do not want to just stop here. Because if you just stop here, you will never make it to the ultimate goal, which is being able to be fruitful and being able to share that fruit, or being able to provide the fruit to other people. So I hope that this ended up helping you. I hope that you decide that you want to be like a tree. You want to make sure that you're going through the process of actually growing and making sure that you are actually developing in each one of these areas. That way you can eventually get to the point of being fruitful and being able to help other people.